It's time to talk about the big one. That's right. 25 years in the making, ladies and gentlemen. The undisputed heavyweight championship of the world is upon us. First time in the four-belt era, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, is the destination for Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk. There has been many missed opportunities of making this undisputed fight over the last 6-7 years, with many different protagonists involved, different promoters, different broadcasters, different fighters that held belts. But we are finally here. Turki Al-Sheikh, the man with the money in Saudi Arabia, has put the wonga on the table to get the boys in the ring. And we are only a few days away, Spence. Eh? The dream is here, mate. This is the one.
Super excited, mate. 1999, the last undisputed fight of Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis. I mean, we waited a long, long time. And you're right in what you say there. You highlighted all the reasons why maybe we haven't had an undisputed since then. And it all comes down to the politics of the sport, what networks it's going on, where it is, who's taking the percentage, 60-40, where it's going. So the fights haven't happened. Turki Al-Sheikh, has delivered. He's put the money on the table, and we finally get this fight. It's a fight that we all want to see. And there's so many ifs, buts, and maybes surrounding this contest, going off Tyson Fury's last performance, because you look at you're only as good as your last performance. You see it against Ngannou, that terrible performance he put in. Was he underprepared? Yes, he was underprepared, but it raises the question mark. Is it starting to catch up with him? Are the cracks appearing? That's what we have to ask ourselves. Now, the answer was, you'd probably say, well, maybe the fear factor wasn't there. Fury, look, you could tell he was overweight, but now looking at him, he looks in fantastic shape. He's been looking great in sparring, been looking great in training, but that doesn't matter until the first bell rings, because that's when we find out exactly where the fighter is at. Alexander Usyk lives the life, man. He's always lived the life. Although he's 2 years older than Tyson Fury, the guy has lived the life, and that makes a difference when you're getting to this stage of your career, because they're both in the twilights of their careers now. That's what makes this so interesting. You've got a case for both guys to win this contest. Do you know what I mean? You really have. You can make a case for both of them. Alexander Usyk and the brilliance about what we were talking about with Lomachenko, how he controls that space, works the fighters out, and slowly but surely picks the pace up as the rounds go on. And that makes him dangerous. Can he close the gap with Tyson Fury? Can he close that distance? Can he get inside without getting hit and then get away again? Can he make Fury fall short with his shots? That's the big ifs, buts, and maybes about Alexander Usyk. And if he can, Fury's in for a tough night. Tyson Fury, who I believe is going to win this contest, I think their size will matter in it.
Gone early. I like it.
Yeah, because I think with Tyson Fury, what he does is he equally has great boxing IQ. He's got a great boxing brain. He feints a lot. When something doesn't work, he can change it up. He can box on the front foot. He can box on the back foot. A lot of people talking about the legs of Fury now. You look at you have to go back really to the last Deontay Wilder fight back in, when was that, 2021 or so, when you look at performances from Fury and go, he had a little bit of everything there. He was boxing on the back foot, front foot. We haven't seen that in recent times. We never saw that against Chisora. We never saw it against Dillian Whyte. But he didn't have to do that. He was standing there with fights that he made pretty easy. So now this is going to be all about whether Tyson Fury has still got that adaptability, whether he can box at times on the back foot, take it to Usyk, rough Usyk up, lean on him, weigh him down, try and tire him in the later rounds, because if he can, which I think he may well do, and I lean towards Fury to win the contest, but you can't write this guy Alexander Usyk off, and that's what makes it so such a fantastic fight.
It's captivating. And
it really is, mate. Adam, just before you say so, I mean, I'm going to ask you this question, because I know what it's like with you. We're thinking about this fight a lot, and now we're approaching. Reality has kicked in. I've gone through so many ways this fight could happen. This fight could be won and lost. And guess what? I've come up with so many different ways the fight could be won and lost from both guys, and that's what makes this fight so fantastic. That you go, there's an argument for both guys here. This is not a foregone conclusion either way.
There's an argument for both guys in multiple ways as well.
Absolutely, that's it.
I think both guys can win on points. I think both guys can stop the other guy. And people might come at me and say, you think Usyk can stop Fury? We don't know what the situation is with that cut. It only takes one blast on that eye, and if it opens up, then all of a sudden you've got chaos, haven't you? Listen, let's not get into that too quickly, because there's plenty of other bits and bats to talk about throughout the whole course of the week. What is for sure? This is the best of the best. It's the pinnacle of the sport. It's the blue ribbon division, the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. The two best heavyweights on the planet are going to go at it, and they are going to deliver something special for us on Saturday night. However, imagine this, right? We've waited 25 years, mate, to have this conversation, to talk about this fight week, the celebration of boxing. And imagine my surprise flicking on my social media yesterday to be greeted with the sights of a nearly 60-year-old man sticking the nuts on a lad that looks like he's just fresh out of his teenage years. Unbelievable, chaotic scenes coming out of this fight week. A horrific look. Let's be dead honest about this, because there's people in this world that criticise our beautiful sport, the sweet science. They say that it's a sport for Neanderthals. It should be banned. Get it off the televisions. And we come back on regular occurrence to say, no, listen, there's some fantastic stories. Boxing's a wonderful sport. It does some wonderful things for the communities in and around our country. It saves people's lives. And the people that are in there, some of the most intelligent people that I've ever met in my life, with some of the amazing backstories. It's absolutely worthy of being on the likes of talkSPORT. It's absolutely worthy of being on these big television broadcasts. And it's absolutely worth the celebration that we're giving this particular fight at the weekend. But then when you see things like that yesterday, where John Fury, for once, listen, let's call this straight, because I've seen people try to defend the actions of John Fury yesterday. If he'd have done that in the UK, he would be facing questions, at least, from the police, because that is assault. You cannot stick the nut on somebody in a public space like he did yesterday and expect to just walk around and have absolutely nothing take place. Now, I'm not saying that the member of Team Usyk is going to press charges. He's probably not that type of character. People like in this world aren't those types of characters, the majority that I've come across anyway. But still, you cannot assault somebody like John Fury did yesterday. It's a horrific look for the event. It's a horrific look for the sport. And somebody of authority in and around that event has to come out and has to condemn that behaviour publicly, because there's people out there baying for blood for this sport, and we need to defend it.
Yeah, totally agree. Listen, we live in a world now of entertainment, and we know what goes on in the build up to these fights, and people coming in like Tyson Fury in Batman suits, etc. And that's great. That's called entertainment, but this is a step too far. John Fury, when Tommy Fury boxed Jake Paul out in Saudi Arabia, John Fury was brilliant because there was a lot of energy there. There was not so much energy around. He was bringing a lot of energy and doing stuff and selling the fight well.
Bang out a line. And I just really hope that stupidity does not overshadow what could be a really sensational week. Let's leave the combat to the two lads at the weekend, shall we? Let's not mess this up. We've waited such a long period of time. Let's not mess this up now. Come on. Anyway.
Look, we've got a great fight there.
It's sold.